I'm gonna break down all of my gear I use to shoot content. Vlogs, YouTube videos, travel content or client work. Let's go through the specific tools I use for every task, as well as why I've chosen this gear and how it helps me to create the content I do. I've got some fun and unique little recent upgrades which I'm also excited to share. So let's get into it. But first, it's day 2 of creating content in this new kind of style. Yesterday's video was so fun to make, but it was more challenging than I thought it would be. It took a lot more time and effort. But I think there's something cool about doing things that you struggle to do and that give you a bit of a challenge, and the more that you do it, the easier and easier and easier it becomes. I guess that's kind of the point. It's good to be challenged. So I have a pretty crazy week coming up this week, and the busier things get, the more organized and on top of everything that I need to be to ensure I can get things done. So we got some chores to do, some emails, some content planning for the week, and I also need to start this video, which is clearly happening. So let's get to the chores and then we can get to the gear. Okay, so let's talk gear. The reason filmmakers get into creating in the first place. Jerks. Not jokes. I'm gonna break this up into a few sections. First off, like a on-the-go, run-and-gun vloggy style setup. And then after that, I'm gonna do like a full studio setup for when I'm shooting like in the warehouse or some sit-down talking head videos. I've got some really fun, interesting upgrades that I've done in the last little bit of time. So that's gonna be quite a cool part. So what I mean by like vloggy setup is just a kind of on the go, run and gun style, light, easy setup, not necessarily just one of these. But anyway, this is gonna be the star of the show, and it's the Sony ZV-E1. I got this camera maybe about 6 months or something like that ago. I got it last year, and it has been a beautiful camera to use. I love it. Before that, I kind of had the FX30 as my second camera. I didn't want to mess around having different lenses for crop sensor and full frame, so I just went with this to pair with my main camera, which we're going to talk about next. The other options you could go for on here is like a FX3, but I really value having a small and less expensive camera. I like to do sketchy stuff with my camera and put it in all sorts of precarious positions and balance it on the cars and stuff, and having one that's half the price of the FX3 is nice. It just gives me that peace of mind. I don't have to worry about it too much. It does everything you want it to do. I'm not gonna go into the technical stuff. It has a flippy screen, super sick. ZV-E1 is absolutely amazing. If I was going for the crop sensor version, I think I would do the ZV-E10 Mark II, or maybe the Sony A6700, also a very cool camera, which I used quite a lot last year as well. But crop sensor, I really wanted to go for the full frame version. The lens that I pair for all of my vloggy stuff, because I do want to sometimes do this, but I also want to have a really nice wide field of view for like shooting inside a car or in a small room like this. It's the Sony 16-25 f2.8. This lens is also super cool, really nice, autofocus really fast. It's got a little manual aperture ring here. Don't really care about that. I normally just shoot it at f2.8 the whole time. It's 25 all the way zoomed in, so you can still get like somewhat like more compressed detail shots. Not really, 25 is not actually that wide. Then the last thing on the lens is this little filter set here. It's the Nissi Swift variable ND with the mist filter. This is a quarter strength mist. And I shoot pretty much all my content with a quarter strength mist filter on. I think it just makes it really nice for those highlight roll-offs or anything like that. Next up, we got tripods, which I think is the most important part about your setup after these things. And I have two main ones. The first one is this tiny little like holding tripod from Small Rig. It's really cool, super tiny and lightweight. It's easy to take around, and if you don't want to set up an actual tripod, but just want to give your camera another place to kind of hold, this is great. You can put it down. It's got this little moving thing that you can change with this button. Just kind of makes it nice and easy. It's got this removable remote so that if you want to set up your camera over there, you can connect this to your camera and still just hit record. You even have zoom and turn it on and off and everything. If you have a lens that supports the zoom or whatever. I don't really use that much, to be honest, but it's a nice little tripod if you just want something like that. The tripod I use most of the time is this one, also from Small Rig. This is not sponsored, by the way. All of this gear is just the stuff that I actually like to use, but a lot of it does come from Small Rig. I've been working with them for a long time and they make awesome gear. But this tripod, super nice if I want anything bigger, because this one you obviously can't get off the ground or anything, so I'll use this one a lot of the time. It's really light, it's really small, it has this nice little extension guy, it has this ball head on top, it has this quick mounting like Arca Swiss system where I can just clip it on and lock it down. Super nice, super like small and light. I wouldn't put a huge camera setup on here. It's got to be something quite small and light, just so you don't drop your camera or something. Audio, I also have two main setups. The first one is this Rode Wireless Go 2 setup, which I'm using right now. The other one's on this camera, but it's just these little mics. Sometimes I use it with a lab, sometimes I just use it like this with this little wind muffy thing and kind of like talk and hold into it. I think it sounds really cool. You can hear me on it now. And then the other one is this Rode Video Mic Pro Plus, I think. And this is if I'm going to be shooting in a more controlled environment where I'm not going to be moving around. I like to use these when I'm might be far away from the camera or close to the camera. This one you got to make sure you're really close to the microphone, but it's very good quality and it does everything that I need it to. Sometimes I'll slap it on top there. Depending on what my mission is and what I'm kind of actually doing, I have two different bag setups. This one is also a recent purchase for me. I also only got this last year at the same time that I got this camera. And it's this little sling bag. I never thought I would use or want a sling bag, to be honest, but when I started doing a lot more run and gun, like vloggy style things where I just wanted to bring something super simple and not a big camera bag, this has been like so helpful actually. So this one specifically is the Peter McKinnon nomadic one. Just get any sling bag really, it doesn't really matter. This one's quite expensive. It is nice, it has nice features and stuff, but whatever, it's a bag. So this, I can just chuck this camera in here. I have space for another lens or two, couple of small things, nice little battery compartments. This is a great bag. It's made like really nice quality and everything, and then I can kind of just chuck it on and like mission around like this, looking like a bit of a dork, but like you can cruise around like this if I want to do something and just like quickly whip out my camera, bam, do something. It's got this nice little hook thing so I can shoot some cool stuff. That's pretty much it. And then I also have this, my, to be honest, extremely old and very worn out Pro Tactic 450AW from Low Pro. This is like the most classic camera bag ever. I actually need to upgrade this one. It's very old. Look how like absolutely busted it is. This thing has been around the world a good few times, but it's cool and it does everything I needed to do. I got the little Peak Design clip mount there, so I can clip my camera on there when I want to, if I'm doing hikes or something like that. But most of the time, for the lightweight setup, I'm just going with this. I don't need a whole big bag like that. Let's move on to the much more fancy and exciting like full-on cinema style client work rig. Just wanted to politely quickly interrupt. If you're wondering how I color grade any of my videos, it's done by using this. It's an instant color grading preset that I have used for all of my videos that you see on this channel, and it works in any editing software as well as for any camera, even your mobile phone. If you want to check it out, you can download them right now using the link in the top of the description. Super easy to use, and it saves you a ton of time being able to just instantly get a really nice look onto your footage. Let's talk about the cinema camera. This is the more like professional cinema style rig. If I'm shooting any studio content, if I'm doing client work, maybe if I'm doing a talking head video or something in the warehouse or the studio, I'm gonna set this up as like a more fixed shot that I'm not gonna move around that much, or that I'm gonna be like really trying to film something nice and having like everything that I need like kind of on the go, makes it look super legit, does everything that you want it to do. First up, we got the Sony a7S III. This camera is kind of outdated, I guess, but I think it does everything that I needed to do. I've thought about upgrading to the FX3, but just doesn't really seem worth it to me. It's kind of the same camera inside, and with this cage on, it has all the mounts and everything that the FX3 would have. I know it has some extra features. I don't really feel that it's worthy of an upgrade. So I got this small rig cage on with a top handle. The main lens I'm going to be shooting on is the Sigma 20-470 f2.8. Super nice lens because, of course, unless you want to be absolutely ridiculous, I'm not going to be filming on myself like this. So 24 millimeters is plenty wide enough to like get a nice wide establishing shot, but then it will punch in all the way to 70 to be able to get some really nice details and compression and separation. I got the same filter setup, Nissi Swift VND Plus mist filter, kind of keep that on pretty much all my lenses and cameras. Then the next thing I've got going on here is this Viltrox monitor. I don't actually know what this is called. DC550 Pro. This monitor is awesome. It has super vibrant colors. It's super bright. It has a bunch of cool settings like false color. You can set your histograms. You can load LUTs onto it. It does a lot. It does everything that you really want out of a monitor, and it looks really, really cool and nice and bright. It just, if I am going to be filming myself, I'll also flip it around so that I can see myself nicely and make sure I'm in focus and everything like that. It comes with this little battery, which is annoying. So the way I actually have it set up is with this small rig 99 battery. These things are epic because you can power anything you want off of it. So I'm powering the monitor off of this battery, which means it will last for forever. The way I've mounted the battery is just with this nice little L-mounty thing that you can move around and set it to where you want. And then it will be the same microphone, this Rode Video Mic Pro Plus or whatever. Then when I want to do like a talking head video or film myself, I'm going to put it on this slightly more heavy duty tripod than the little vlog one. This one is also from Small Rig. It's a full carbon fiber tripod. It has these really easy to use like quick release legs, so you can like put it where you want it and just lock it, which makes it really easy because I don't know if you want to faff around with legs and stuff. So what I will often have is this set up like this, and then the monitor I'll use on one of these awesome little magic arms. These ones are from iFootage. These are the best quality ones that I have found, and they got these little releases. So I just have this plug on the front of the tripod that's a part of this, and you can literally just plug this on and lock it down, and then I'll put that monitor right here wherever I want it, and then just lock it down like that. Tripod's falling apart. Boom, I'll have the monitor exactly where I want it, which makes it really nice and easy. Now let's cover a few of the other random things that I use, because there's quite a lot of really cool things that make your job as a filmmaker like so much easier. Before we get to those, I also have this lens, 70-200 f4. Nice if I just want to get like some more zoomed in shots, maybe something where the things are far away. And I have this 20mm 1.8 prime lens from Sony, which is very similar to the vlog lens, but it's a little bit faster, not quite as versatile being locked off at 20. I got this nice little 4-way charger, small rig as well, super cool battery indicator, gotta charge all this stuff, you know. Some of the other things I've been loving to get creative with are this little sucky mount that you can stick on cars. I just tied this little tether to it so if it falls off, doesn't smash on the road. Hasn't happened yet, holding thumbs. But you can just stick this on a car and get super cool shots. So really been enjoying that kind of random little specialized tool. The other thing that I have, if I am shooting in the studio, or normally this just lives over there, it's a big box of goodies that you would need for filming. It's got like all these different little tools, all these different little bits and bobs, like lens cleaning stuff, gaff tape, little multi-tools, just kind of everything you need. And it normally sits right over here so that I can just have access to all that stuff when I need it. I've got this because I want to show you it in a second. If I want to shoot on a gimbal, I'm most likely going to put it on my vlogging setup, and I'm just going to use this gimbal from Zion. I think this is the Weeble 3E, something like that. I actually just got the new 4E from Zion, so I'm going to make a video about that soon, and I'll probably swap to that one because it's the newer, more updated version. I'm not going to cover lights in this video. That's a whole video in itself, but I did just quickly want to show you this one really cool light. Check this out. This is a super like fun light to play with. It's got this little squib on the front, and you can take out, it comes with a whole bunch of different like patterns and shapes, and then you can just slide it into this little like rubber holder, and this just like makes kind of pictures on your wall. So I can like have a fake window light coming through, or like shine it in the background like this, so it looks like there's some like cool kind of mottled light. I'm not gonna go into lights too much because that's, like I said, a video in itself, but I thought this was maybe worth mentioning because it's fun and I've been using it quite a lot lately. Yeah, that's gonna be it for this one. I hope you enjoyed it. Second video of the new style, having a lot of fun making them, and I hope you're finding some value out of them. I'm gonna get a nice early night and go to bed and make another one of these tomorrow.